Our parents, our caregivers, our teachers, even our peers are all mirrors that we use to learn about who we are. Anytime that we are triggered is because a core belief is being hit. Something in the external happens and it matches a core belief that you have, and your brain goes, "See, I knew that was true." Welcome back, and thank you for tuning in to today's episode. As we talked about in the last episode, we have core beliefs that are formed in childhood. And so today I'm going to be talking more about those. I also touched a little bit on this in the last episode, how we are not born believing that we're not enough, or that we're too much, or that we're not lovable. We were born as just pure, innocent awareness. But as children, we learn who we are, and we learn about the world around us through the eyes of our parents and our caregivers. Our parents, our caregivers, our teachers, even our peers are all mirrors that we use to learn about who we are. And if those mirrors reflected back to us that we were worthy, that we were lovable, that we were capable, and that we were important and oh so precious, then we formed beliefs that matched those mirrors. But if we had mirrored back to us that we weren't good enough, that we weren't lovable, that there was something wrong with us, that we were flawed, maybe that we weren't important because our caregivers couldn't meet our needs, then we were going to form beliefs that match those reflections. Our brains have mirror neurons. Our brains use mirror neurons to learn and to copy behaviors, emotional responses, and beliefs. If a parent mirrored criticism, a lack of affection, or doubt about you, your brain learned to take all of that information. But what if you're not flawed? Your mirror was flawed. As a child, you have no control over the mirror that you're seeing the world through. You have no control over what is being mirrored to you. It was your caregiver's fault. It was their responsibility to mirror to you that you were lovable, that you were worthy, that you were capable, that you were strong. And if that was not mirrored for you, like I've been sharing, you formed these beliefs and you took on these core beliefs about who you are as a person. They have been running your life since childhood. You looked out at the world through your innocent, precious child eyes. And if you saw a world full of anger, rejection, abandonment, criticism, then you took that all to mean that something was wrong with you. As children, we internalize everything that is reflected to us. We think the whole world revolves around us. Our prefrontal cortex is not online, and so we don't have logic and reasoning. So we can't reason or understand that the things that are going on around you have absolutely nothing to do with you. It has to do with your caregiver's stress level, what they have going on in their life, their capacity and ability to show you love and affection. And if they do not have that capacity or that ability, that is on them. That has nothing to do with you. But again, as a child, you did not know that. We were these innocent, precious children that had reflected back to us our caregivers' limitations, their wounds, their traumas, and we took it to mean something about us. So if your mom yelled at you, you did not have the understanding that your mom had a lot of stress in her life. She had some stuff going on, and it had nothing to do with you. You internalized it, and you thought you were the problem, and so you believed, I must be bad. I must have done something really wrong. I'm flawed. Something's wrong with me. Why can't I do better? Why can't I be better? Then maybe mom won't yell at me. If dad didn't want to play with you, you did not understand that dad might have had a long day at work and was tired. You internalized it and formed the belief that I'm not important. I don't matter. He doesn't want to play with me. I'm no fun to be around. When we were children, we took in every reflection that the world mirrored to us as truth. We didn't know how to question it. We didn't know how to understand it. And again, we made ourselves the problem. We internalized it because this felt safer than not having any control. If we're the problem, we can fix it. So if I'm not lovable, if I do this, then I won't do that. So then I'll be lovable. I'm in control. It gave us this false sense of control. And so as adults, we're still internalizing everything. These core beliefs are running our entire lives, and they're beliefs that were mirrored to us. When we were babies, we looked out at this world. We didn't understand. We had to learn about ourselves. So everything that you believe about yourself was taught to you. You were not born believing you're not worthy. You were not born believing you're just not good enough. You were not born believing that something must be wrong with you. That was all taught to you from your reflections. You looked out at this world and you learned about yourself through the eyes of everyone around you. But we thought it was true, these beliefs. But again, it was their limitations, their capacity, and their own wounds and trauma. All of your behaviors, good and bad, have all been programmed into you. Your mind was a blank slate at birth. And every time you formed a belief, you wrote it on your slate. And that got programmed into your subconscious mind. And once it's in our subconscious mind, it runs in the background, influencing everything. I know for me growing up, I had a pretty difficult childhood, and I have some pretty strong core beliefs that I've had to rewire, I've had to work through. And these beliefs controlled my entire life, and I have lived these beliefs out. I always thought I was broken, that I would permanently be this way, that life had somehow cursed me to be inherently flawed and broken, and that I just was not one of the lucky ones. But I didn't know that these beliefs were taught to me. I didn't know that these beliefs were not who I was, that these beliefs were not my truth, until I was at rock bottom. And I was like, something needs to change here. And I began to search for answers. And I began to learn of the power that I had to rewrite these beliefs. I had the power to change my story. I had the power to go into my subconscious mind and reprogram it. And I found that inner child healing was the fastest way to do this. And it's because connecting to your inner child connects straight to your subconscious mind. It goes right to the root of the problem. So this podcast, I'm focusing heavily on inner child healing. In my community, I'm known for inner child healing. I do workshops and things like that. And that is because connecting to little Brenda was the fastest way for me to uncover my beliefs and to rewrite them. Little Brenda did not deserve the beliefs that were mirrored to her. She did not deserve to have that reflection, and neither did you. Some of the biggest core beliefs that run in the background our entire lives are, I'm not enough, I'm unlovable, I'm too much, I don't matter, my needs, or I am a burden, or I have to be perfect. Here are a few examples of how these beliefs play out in our life. If you have the belief that you're just not good enough or that you're not enough, then you are going to be an overachiever. You will always be hustling, working hard to prove yourself. You will overgive, but you'll never feel satisfied with your achievements or your gifts. You'll always feel like you can do more, give more, be more. If you have the belief that you're too much, then you're going to silence your voice. You're not going to speak your truth. You're going to stay quiet. You're going to stay small because you don't want to be seen. You don't want to make others uncomfortable. If you have the belief that you are just not lovable, then you are going to be super sensitive to any sign of rejection or abandonment. You're just going to be really anxious. Think like anxious attachment. And so anytime you feel a slight pulling away, or if someone doesn't respond to a text, then you're going to take that as abandonment and you are going to overreact in that moment. And if you have the belief that you yourself or your needs are a burden, then you will never be able to ask for help. You always have to do it all on your own. You're always working hard and you're always taking care of everyone else's needs around you but your own. And if you have the belief that you need to be perfect in order to be good enough, then you will have really high standards and expectations for yourself, and you will burn yourself out trying to meet them. Or you'll expect everyone around you to be perfect. And if you have the belief that you don't matter, then you're not going to take care of yourself. You're not going to take care of your needs. You're not going to be able to ask for help. And these are all just small examples of what it looks like when these false beliefs that we formed in childhood are still running in the background. These are all beliefs that the innocent child version of you formed. Can you imagine looking at a child today and telling them these things? No. So why would you tell yourself that? Inside of you still lives this little inner child, this little boy or girl. They are still inside of you. And they deserve to be told that they are important and that they matter, that they are enough and that they are loved. Because that is your truth. Anytime that we are triggered is because a core belief is being hit. Something in the external happens and it matches a core belief that you have, and your brain goes, see, I knew that was true. Knew you weren't good enough. I just knew you weren't important and that you don't matter. See, yep, you're just not lovable. You're flawed. No one's ever gonna love you. And it hurts so bad because it's not true. But your brain thinks it is true. Our brain has something called a confirmation bias. And I'm sure I'm going to talk about this more in future episodes. But your brain looks for evidence of what it believes to be true. So all of these false beliefs that you have about you, your brain is looking for the evidence that matches it. So you might look at something in the external, a neutral situation, and you have one of two ways that you can look at it. And how you look at it depends on your core belief. Let's say somebody is slow to text you back. You have two ways you can look at it, right? You can have the one way, which is, I'm not important. I don't matter to them. I'm just not lovable. And then that's going to trigger you, right? Maybe you'll be anxious. You'll be texting them, freaking out. I've been there. I've done that. But the other side of it you can look at is, maybe they're busy. Maybe they have a lot going on today. Maybe they're just stressed and don't have the capacity to text me. You have the power to choose. But again, your brain is looking for evidence that match your beliefs. And it's going to skew what you're looking at to match your belief. So we have to change our core beliefs if we want to be able to look at situations differently. Because whenever you're triggered, it's because it's hitting on a past wound. It's hitting on a core belief that you have. And so whenever we're triggered, it's not our adult self that's reacting to the moment. It's our inner child. It's this past version of us. But as an adult, now, your adult self, you have the power to hold up a new mirror for your child. We can reparent our inner child. When we reparent ourselves, we learn how to look at situations differently. We learn how to change our core beliefs. So if something happens in the external, it no longer matches this core belief. We don't have this core belief anymore, right? Because we've worked on reprogramming it. So we're not going to respond the same way. This is the journey of healing. This is the journey of reconnecting to ourselves. This is the journey of returning to our true authentic self where all of our magic lives. So now, as an adult, you can hold up a mirror that says, you are more than enough just as you are. Instead of a mirror that says you're too much, you hold up a reflection that says your feelings are valid, your voice matters. Instead of the core belief that you're just not lovable, reflect back to yourself that you are so deeply lovable. You are always lovable. In these moments where we're triggered and we're able to reparent ourselves and offer ourselves the loving words that we needed to hear back then, you're rewiring your brain. So every time you choose to look at an old belief, hold up a mirror to it with the new belief, you're replacing all of these false beliefs with truth. Spend some time this week paying attention to these beliefs that pop up. Notice the thoughts that you're thinking throughout the week in response to situations around you. And that's how you discover what your beliefs are. You have the power to reprogram these beliefs. It is not always easy. I'm going to be talking more about this in the next episode. You are always worthy. You are always so lovable, and nothing can ever take that away from you. Even if people told you otherwise, you are so magical. Again, you didn't deserve the beliefs that were mirrored to you, but you can hold up a new mirror. You have the power to do so.